What's up, Africans? Supreme peace and black power. It's King Leon X, the human liberator, the unapologetic black voice of America, nigga terrorist, black imperialist, black supremacist. See, I put the black woman, the black child, the black family first, because I'm a black man. And I represent black people, no matter their condition. Let me take these shades off. Black man, white man, Asian man, Arab man, Latino man. Listen, none of y'all my enemies. Black man! Black man! Original man! God! You are not my enemy. Only enemy I have is self-imposed limitations and self-limiting beliefs. If I study history, if I study our story, not his story, I'll see, prior to any type of European contact and intermingling, the black woman was Mother Nature and the black man was God. How did we forget that? Something happened strategically. But that doesn't mean I have an enemy. That means that my forefathers were naive. And they got. So the fuck what? They got. Yeah, okay. Y'all got us. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Cool. Y'all got us. The whole world knows it. You feel me? White man, y'all got us. But check this out. When I say that none of y'all are my enemy, that does not mean that y'all are not my opponents. Black man, you are not my enemy, nor my opponent. That's why this is peace and not this. This is separation. This is the white man's victory. This is unity. The black man, black woman, black family together in one. That's why our sign is the closed fist. So when I say you guys are my opponent, I'm talking about in this game of racism, this game of commerce. This is 21st century and beyond. Study where the world is going and get there first. When I say that you guys are my opponent, that's me coming from the understanding that racism is a game for economic gain. Racism is a game for economic gain. Let's break this down real quick, you guys. Racism, the root word race. So, if I say, hey, let's race from here to there, that's me versus you, or my team versus your team. Whoever gets there first or accomplishes the task first wins. We can all agree that that is a race. And the other dictionary definition of race could be described as identifying people by their ethnicity or sometimes nationality. Right? You guys know what I'm talking about. By their color of their skin. And like where the region that they're from. Right? So those are two definitions of race that we all can agree upon. So the original race was between the European countries. See, let me just drop some knowledge on y'all. Because people keep calling me racist and all this shit. And people keep saying black people can't be racist. I'm trying to break this shit down for y'all real quick. Listen. So, the original race started in the late 1500s. You feel me? Like, or I'm sorry, early 1500s, late 1400s. After they came and cleared out, they came, the indigenous black people, they cleared them out after they learned everything that they could from them. They cleared them out, and then the race began. And so it was a campaign all in Europe. Free land, free labor. Whichever European country gets to the Western world first, or develops the Western world first with the most land, or who procures the most land, the most resources, the most slaves, and make the most money, that's the country that's going to win the race. So that race was between the French and the Spanish and the English and the Dutch and the Portuguese and the Swedes. All of these European countries were racing to the Western world to get the most land, the most slaves, and make the most money, so therefore their home country could claim that land. England won, right? That's what, obviously, right? France won like the little Haiti area, and Spain won like South America, Central South America. So that was the original race, you guys. Racism is a competitive relationship between groups of people. A competitive relationship between groups of people competing for power, wealth, and control over any nation's privileges, luxuries, resources, government, all that. So the purpose of slavery was to misdistribute 100% of all the nation's wealth, power, control, government, privilege, resources, luxuries to one group, while the other group had nothing. The whole rest of the world, all the other rest of the world, complied with that. Which is why it lasted for hundreds and hundreds of years. Think how long you've been alive, and then think how long 500 years is. Right? That's a long time to be in complete control and domination over a group of people who have no knowledge of self, no knowledge of anything except for what you tell them for 500 years. So, if I was a slave master, or if I, so black labor, white wealth is all it was, right? They distribute 100% of the nation's wealth, power, control, government, resources, privileges to one group, while the other group had nothing, right? And then so now we're so-called free, right? So they give us jobs, but our jobs were sharecropper jobs. So 90% of all the slaves stayed on that plantation anyway. Still, they just got paid, right? But if you never had money before, you have nothing to do, know what to do with money. They're like, you're still working from sun up to sundown, but they're like, boom, here's a quarter. They're still making millions and billions of dollars. Boom, here's a quarter. Right? Oh, master, what am I gonna do with this quarter? Oh, here's what you do. Give it right back to me. Buy this food. Buy this whatever. Right? Long time passed. Black people started to realize that they needed to have their own shit, and why would they ever want to mix with their open opponent? Right? They knew what it was. They built their own shit. We got successful at it. Mass history of plenty bombings where whites were like, yo, fuck what they got going on. We dropping bombs on them. 1921, look it up. Dropped 4,000 people. Boom, dead. Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's pretty heavy, right? 20 years later, then Pearl Harbor happened. And they say that that's the first time America had been bombed. It was Pearl Harbor. Yeah, right. They bombed their own so-called citizens, but obviously we weren't. Obviously we're not. See? Years later, black people still had our own everything. We were forced to have our own everything because we couldn't intermingle with whites. It was actually against the law. So we were practicing group economics, group politics, group power. We were policing our own streets. We were our own plumbers, doctors, lawyers, and all these other little different things that we needed. But we were forced to. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know that that was our survival. All integration did was make the black business owner himself want to close down his business because his dollar's green too and he wants to go spend it with the white man. Hence, Jackie Robinson gets in the MLB. We had our own Negro League, our own national leagues. You feel me? One black person gets into the white league. Every single player in the fucking black league goes on strike. Because they want to play in front of the white people. And they want whatever white people have because they think it's better. So now, that black wealth that they were creating from all their games is no more. I grew up sitting in a classroom with white and black people and Asian people. I went to kindergarten, 3rd grade in Bahrain, which is a little island outside of Saudi Arabia. So that's where I was at from kindergarten to 3rd grade. Getting in sandstorms and shit. 120 degrees. We were taught in school that all the problems are solved and everything is peaches and cream. And if black people would just stop being so ignorant and pull themselves up by their own bootstraps, then they'll be good. Never explaining to the children that when slavery was over, whites owned 99% of America. In 2015, whites own 99% of America. When slavery was over, 98% of black people labored to create white wealth. 2015, 98% of black people that are working are laboring to create white wealth. Other races don't really hire black. Only people that hire black people are really white people. You feel me? And small minority of other races hire black people because they hire their own children and their own family, as they should. So here we are in 2015, still begging our open opponent to provide education and jobs for the people who are they've already committed or tried to commit genocide on. So it's like we came to America to work, right? We were already here. We're the indigenous people. They killed a lot of us off. They killed all the warriors off, kept all the sheep, turned them into slaves, brought in more slaves, stripped people's families apart and shit, beat them and tortured them and chained them. But we have to recover from that, and the only way we're gonna recover from that is to understand where the world is going and get there first, you guys. For real, I'm rambling, but the only enemy is self-imposed limitations. Black people, we have to have our own nation. Like Africa, America is not a nation. We say we're African American. That's why they say race doesn't matter. It's a colorblind society, but they still have your race on your birth certificate and on every type of application or standardize anything. On my driver's license, it says black. Hella black. Hella proud. Right? So, like, yo, chew on that shit, you guys. Racism is a game for economic gain. We're competing for power, wealth, control, government, privileges, resources. We have to play as a team or we'll lose. We'll lose. We'll lose, man. Just look at all the other races, man. One thing that they know is how to practice group power. We don't know anything about group power because it was destroyed during integration, desegregation. They call it desegregation, but the masses of poor black people only live around black people. They call it desegregation and integration, but the masses of rich white people only live around white people. The only people who are intermingled is a little bit of the poor and a little bit of the middle class. How is it integration when I know so many people who went to school, they didn't have no white kids at their school at all. And then plenty of people where they can only count five white kids at their school. Our John was like 60-40, like 60% white, 50% or 40% black in Summerville, South Carolina. But regardless of where you are, this education system is coming from our open opponent. So what do? Glorify their children in the miseducation and dehumanize us. I don't have any kids yet, but I swear to God, they're not gonna step one foot in any of that type of shit. Ever. You guys know that shit only started in 1908. It wasn't no public school for all or none of that shit. Nobody was required to send their kids to school. Nobody went to school or none of that shit. Like on some daily basis, like the shit how we have. That shit started in 1908 by John D. Rockefeller. Because child labor laws, women was tripping. Women and kids kept dying in the fucking factories. They're all working side by side. They can't close down the factories because they're making too much fucking money, but they got to figure out what to do with the kids. Okay, yeah, let's fucking give the illusion that we're trying to make Americans smarter. But instead, we're just going to train them how to fucking work for us. White kids included. Right? So then we see 2015, America ain't leading the world in no academic area, period. 0 academic areas America is leading. But we're the first one to bring public school for all and shit. Yeah, man. You guys gotta learn some shit. And teach me some shit too. I like watching people's videos talking. If you watch this, Jonas, 18 minutes, it just really turned into like a conversation. Just like a one-sided convo. Versus like a little snippet. I was dropping some nuggets on here for y'all. Like, hopefully y'all got the message. For real. Like, shit. Hopefully y'all got the message. Black man, you not my enemy. You not my opponent. Black woman, I love you unconditionally. White man, you not my enemy either. You my opponent. But I'm gonna talk my shit. I'm gonna talk my truth. You say Alexander the Great. I say great to who? I'm speaking from the perspective of all the people he slaughtered. Until the lion has a historian, the hunter will always be the hero. Black power.